Why is it that, in a world so interconnected, where actions in one corner can have repercussions in another, we still believe in the borders that divide us? Could it be that these borders, these lines drawn on a map, are less about keeping others out and more about defining who we are? This brings us to the fascinating world of international law, the invisible web that holds our global society together. Imagine the world as a vast, bustling marketplace. Each country is a stall, offering its unique goods and services. But how do these stalls interact? How do they resolve disputes? How do they ensure fair play? Enter international law, the grand rule book of this global marketplace. At its heart, international law is about equality. Despite their size, wealth, or power, all states are equal under international law. It's a principle that's as old as the hills and as vital as the air we breathe. Next is consent. In this global dance, no state is forced to take a step it doesn't want to. International law is an agreement, a pact between willing participants. Each state chooses to abide by the rules to ensure the dance continues smoothly. Then we have customary international law. This is the rhythm of the dance, formed by the steps taken over and over again. These are practices and norms that have evolved over time and are accepted as legally binding by the global community. But what of the steps themselves? These are the treaties and agreements, the choreography of the dance. These are formal written agreements between states that set out specific rights and obligations. But who oversees the dance? Who ensures the steps are followed, the rhythm maintained? These are the international organizations and courts like the United Nations and the International Court of Justice. They develop, interpret, and enforce the rules of the dance. In this dance, the music changes often. International law covers various areas, including human rights, environmental law, trade law, and the law of the sea, among others. It's a dynamic and evolving field, always keeping in step with the changing tune of the global political and social landscape. But what if a dancer decides to break the rhythm, to ignore the steps? While international law lacks a centralized enforcement mechanism, compliance is often achieved through diplomatic means, economic pressure, or the use of international institutions and courts. So, in our global marketplace, our vast dance floor, international law is the rule book, the choreography, the rhythm, and the watchful eye. It's the invisible web that holds us together, that keeps the dance flowing smoothly. It's what allows us to be different yet dance together. It's what makes the world in all its diversity a single stage.